My name is Trey and welcome back to Reload Reacts, where today we're going through r/Ohnoconsequences where, as the name suggests, OP is genuinely shocked that their actions actually have consequences. Who would have thought? This first post is by Marcel Torak. Not me, my husband, but it's just so beautiful. So Jerkface comes down while my husband is working the front desk at a hotel. My husband is on the phone with another customer when Jerkface starts smacking the counter and loudly yelling about how the free coffee has run out. My husband politely points out he is on the phone with a customer and will refill the coffee as soon as he's finished. Not good enough for Jerkface, who loudly complains, swearing the whole time. Eventually, because hubby is still on the phone, he stomps off. Later the same day, he stomps out of the restaurant attached to the hotel, grumbling and complaining, and my husband calls out that the coffee is ready. He starts yelling at my husband about how it's too late now, and comes up to the desk to vent his anger. He starts swearing at my husband, so my husband tells him to pack his stuff, and he has 15 minutes to leave or the cops are called. Our hotel has a no tolerance policy for direct verbal abuse to staff. But oh no, that would be too easy. Jerkface doesn't start packing. Instead, he keeps swearing at my husband and threatening him just as the general manager walks out of the office, who tells Jerkface to get out or he's calling the cops. General manager also points out, while ending this man's week-long stay at the hotel, that he knows the man's boss by name and will be calling said boss to make sure Jerkface never stays at our hotel again. General manager does indeed call the boss, and is promised that Jerkface won't be coming there again. General manager also sends the boss the video of Jerkface and his behavior, and an hour later he gets a call that Jerkface is fired because that is not how this company behaves. Wow, what a great start. It's really satisfying to read a story like that, seeing people get what they deserve. This next post is by Automatic Trick. I'm working overseas right now, and I managed to get tickets for Taylor Swift in Singapore. The concert is this coming Saturday. My plan was to fly my girlfriend over for a little vacation. It's a long ways from Connecticut, so she was going to be staying for 10 days. I was clear and I told her that we would have 2 weekends together, as well as the evenings, but that I still had to work during the daytime. Last week, she called me and said she was not okay with us being long distance and that after the concert we were over. I asked for clarification. She said she would come for the 10 days and we could have fun, but that we were done. I can have fun without paying for it. I transferred her the 1 ticket and cancelled everything else. She called me to scream at me for cancelling the flights and hotel. I told her that I wasn't going to discuss it and hung up. I blocked her on everything. I'm hearing from people back home that she has lost her shit. She had been bragging about going to see Taylor Swift and the vacation. Now she is telling everyone that I cancelled the plans just out of the blue. I guess that is sort of true. I did not discuss it with her before I made my decision, and did what I did. I unblocked her long enough to offer to buy the ticket back if she wasn't going to use it. That conversation was at best unpleasant and involved a lot of profanity. The upshot was she would rather let it go to waste than let me have it. Her friends have been defending her and calling me an asshole. My position is that I would feel like a John flying her over for fun. How did she expect this to go? She broke up with him right after he invited her to a concert. Like, yeah, of course that was going to happen. This next post is by Striking Steel and Side Salty. I am a 34-year-old man and my wife is 29. We have been married for 5 years. Since we started dating, she has always taken her sweet time doing everything. Getting dressed, doing her makeup, eating, whatever it is, she takes forever. I'm generally a patient person, but I get extremely anxious when I'm late for something with a scheduled starting time. Alone, I have never been late for anything. With her in tow, I'm late for everything. The most frustrating thing about this is that she seemingly has no ability to comprehend that she's making other people wait. If I even suggest that she move a little faster, she gets really defensive. A few years ago, one of her best friends dumped her because she was tired of her chronic lateness. Last night, we went out to see a movie. Getting to the mall before the movie started was a battle itself, but miraculously, with the prospect of doing some shopping before it, she was able to gather her necessary belongings and get there with time to spare. She started shopping while I more or less followed her, until it was about time to get to the theatre. When I told her this, she was talking to a sales clerk about the clothes that she wanted to buy, and she told me to hang on for a second. As usual, hang on meant, I have absolutely no concern about your needs because I'm doing my own thing right now, and anything other than what I want to do is out of the question. I waited a couple more minutes until she started taking jeans off the shelves to try on new combinations. The previews had already started. I told her again, and she said we can just skip the previews. At this point, I just walked away, which she naturally didn't notice, turned off my phone, and enjoyed the movie myself. As a side note, I missed the first few minutes of it waiting for her, standing in line, and making my way to the theatre. On my way out of the theatre, I saw her on a bench in the lobby beside herself because I ditched her. I honestly didn't feel bad at all and told her that I'd do it again. This made her more upset, and finally we had an awkward quiet drive home. Apparently she was actually looking forward to the movie too. Was I the asshole in this situation? I felt like it was supposed to be tough love, but she seems really hurt. Update. 2 months later. No, I'm not having an affair. No, I'm not having a midlife crisis. No, I'm not looking for a younger woman. No, I'm not hiding anything. My wife and I have been together for 12 years. During this time, she has not made even the slightest amount of effort to be on time for anything we did. When we were dating, average wait times were 15 minutes to an hour for her to finally show up. I waited because I loved her. After marriage, she somehow got worse, and after childbirth, she got even worse. She used to blame circumstances for being late every time, but now she just blames our son. I put up with it because I loved her. Example 1. We're currently looking at preschools. We're 15 to 30 minutes late for each meeting because the thing we need most in our lives is for the teachers to believe our son is chronically going to be late for school. It's always something with her. Example 2. I wanted to see a movie in theaters a while ago. She wanted to come too. I had to leave her in a clothing shop because I was going to miss the start of the movie. Of course she was livid. Example 3. A few months ago, we went to see a concert of a group she likes. We were an hour early because of course we were an hour early. It was something that she wanted to do. I'm so sick and tired of it. Dinner reservations are always a toss-up because restaurants in our area have no chill and will cancel your reservation if you're a minute late. Growing increasingly anxious as she stares at her phone and trying to ask her in the nicest way possible to hurry up is a horrible feeling, especially since she will flip her lid the second that I try to tell her we're going to be late. Meeting up with friends, going to a children's event with our son, even trying to take a walk is always an ordeal of trying to get her to put the goddamn phone down and get ready so I don't have to stand there like an idiot. I think my boiling point was last week when I stood at the entrance of our house for 20 minutes with our son as he grew increasingly impatient, and then seeing she had abruptly decided to start vacuuming the house. I'm getting spammed with calls from mutual friends and family. She went and told everyone that we're getting divorced. Everyone wants to talk me out of it. I just broke after years of patience, and I have no regrets. OP was just getting walked over. I can totally understand wanting to leave that situation. I'm glad he's moving forward with his life. This next post is by Queen of Meh. My night job is at a specialty pet food and treats store, and we also offer grooming and a self-wash grooming station where you can come in and wash your pet. Had a couple come in with their human son, who is about 9 years old, to wash their dog. The couple went in with the dog and left their son to wander around the store. As I'm by myself, I didn't notice he was unsupervised until they had already gone in and started washing their dog. I spent 15 minutes finishing my baking, taking care of customers, and following this kid around to clean up after him. He was grabbing random toys and playing with them, then setting them down wherever, bouncing all the tennis balls, grabbing leashes off the shelf and pretending they were lassos. He was also bothering my customers, asking them random questions as they tried to shop. After I asked him 3 times to stop messing with things and other people, he went over to our baked treats table. I knocked on the self-wash door and asked the parents to please bring their son into the wash with them, or to let him sit in the car while they finish. And they told me that they were almost done, and that their son was never a problem. I explained that he was disturbing other customers and playing with random items that I was having to clean up. And the woman looked me right in the eyes and said, "Yeah, that's your job." I told her my job was to run the store, not to babysit customers' children, and she rolled her eyes at me and said they were almost done. I come back to the sales floor, and the kid had crumbled 3 cakes and a whole bunch of treats, as well as snapped a bunch of bully sticks and other dried treats. He smiles and bounces off, and I start to gather and ring up the items. The parents come out of the self-wash, and I add that to the transaction. I tell them their total is $149.76. Both their mouths drop and the guy says, $150 to wash my dog? I say, "No sir, the self-wash was $16. The rest is to cover what your son destroyed." The mum says her son didn't destroy anything, and I gesture to the pile of broken cakes and treats. "Actually ma'am, he did. He broke all of this after I asked you to please supervise him." She started arguing and saying that I must have broke them all because I didn't like having her son in the store. Yes, because I love baking a bunch of stuff just to destroy it. Yep, you got me. I had a feeling this was going to be the reaction, so I already had the video from our cameras ready to go on my phone to show her. This isn't your son walking over to the table and smashing those cakes and treats. This isn't your son going to the bully bar and snapping them in half. She didn't say anything for a second, and then told me she didn't think they should have to pay for them. I told her that her child broke them after I asked them to watch him or let him sit in the car, so it was their responsibility to cover our losses. She asked to speak to my manager, and was very disappointed when I pointed to my name tag that has manager under my name. "You are speaking to a manager, ma'am. Anything else I can help you with today? If not, your total is $149.76. She glared at me, but put her card in and paid, and they left, looking like they were screaming at the kid the whole way to the car. That was great. I should read from this sub more often. This next post is by Sit and Think. Last weekend, I, 39M, helped my son, 14M, dye his hair purple. Or, my good friend who actually knew what he was doing helped dye my son's hair while I was there for music requests and object fetching. It was such a fun day, and I could tell how happy it made my boy. I didn't tell my wife before we did this, and that was the catalyst to the fight we're currently having. But for me, it's so much more than this one incident. My wife has been hands off with our child for a while now. His soccer games, little road trips to nearby amusement parks, back to school shopping, she's too busy with work or too tired from work. So I've mostly just stopped having the conversations. Why would I waste my breath to have the same conversations on repeat? The night we dyed his hair, she started crying while we were talking, saying we were making all of these memories without her. I asked her what she expected me to do. If we waited for her to make memories, we would be sitting in a dark room 100% of the time. My son isn't even really comfortable with her anymore. There is no, "I can't take you, go ask your mum." Now it's, "I'm sorry I can't take you, let me see if friend is free that day." My wife isn't speaking to me now, and I'm wondering if I took it too far. I don't know. I was hoping some brutal honesty would change something. I would have loved having more kids, but I guess it's for the best now that she said no. Edit. I'm a stay-at-home dad. The original plan was for me to start working again when our son went to kindergarten, but my wife was gunning for a promotion around that time and asked me to stay out home longer. Once she got the promotion, her hours increased, so that time was extended once again. I am responsible for all the household chores and general homemaking tasks. I cook, clean, do all the yard work, all the grocery shopping, etc. I do enjoy being a stay-at-home dad, but I've been ready and willing to rejoin the workforce for a decade now. At this point, I will be getting a job when my son turns 16 and can get himself to and from school. But my wife still refuses to cut her hours even if I get a job, and gets frustrated every time I bring it up. There is no point in me forcing my son to ride the bus or figure out a ride for himself if my wife still won't make the effort or compromise in order to spend time with him. This was r/Ohnoconsequences. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out some other videos on the channel. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button because I post new Reddit content every single day.